Hello, I'm Patricia Broadfoot. I'm the chair of CPRE Gloucestershire, the countryside charity, and I'm delighted to have this opportunity of introducing our awards for 2020. We are the countryside charity, and what we like to do with these awards is celebrate innovative solutions that will really improve and enhance the countryside. So our awards are about encouraging high environmental standards, recognising exemplars of good practice and promoting a positive agenda for change. So some of the awards we've been giving over the years are around solutions that respond to local need. So some of them have been about housing developments which are really appropriate to the setting that they're in. Other things have been about transforming the countryside into more sustainable ways of living. And other things are about the well-being of local people and initiatives that help to improve the quality of their life. So this year we've got 6 projects that we're giving awards to, and they're all quite different, and they all demonstrate the creativity that we want to see in our countryside. And of course, normally we would have a celebratory event to award to the people who have gathered their certificates and their plaques and so on, but obviously we can't do that this year. So this year our wonderful Vice Chair Richard Lloyd has been visiting all of our projects and congratulating those involved and giving them their plaques and associated certificates. Now, the awards are decided by a panel of experts, independent judges who scrutinise everything about the project from the nominations that we've received. And they decide which of our nominations meet the criteria we have for an award. And so this year I'm delighted to announce the 6 awards that we've made. One of them is the Bledington Community Shop and Café.
CPRE was pleased to receive a nomination for one of our awards for this splendid community shop. We understand that the village has been without a shop since 2006, and with its closure the community also effectively lost a meeting place and its social centre. Now, your project, as far as we can tell, has been an amazing, really amazing team effort. It was a local architect who produced a very efficient and well-detailed design for the shop and cafe, and it's great that the design fits well with the character of the village. We understand that a local builder constructed the shell of the building, and local craftspeople fitted it out, and many, many more people were involved in fundraising. Now the shop is open, it's good to see the focus on selling locally produced produce and to meet the team of volunteers who run it. Lastly, I must acknowledge the support of the Cotswolds Leader Programme. The outcome is a great new community asset, which I know has proved more than its worth during the COVID-19 pandemic. The citation agreed by our judges reads, "For successfully engaging the support of the community of Bledington in achieving the realisation of such a well-designed shop and cafe and delivering this critically important community asset." Michael, I'm pleased to present the Bledington Community Shop Management Committee with a plaque and a framed certificate. There are also 4 unframed certificates for Mike Logue, Contractor and Project Manager, Chris Cabale, Architect, Louise Jackson, Development Coordinator, and James Webb of the Cotswold Conservation Board in recognition of their major contributions to this endeavour.
We're thrilled to receive these awards today. We're especially pleased to be recognised by Gloucestershire CPRE. Our goal to strengthen active community life in Bledington and neighbouring villages is, I think, in close harmony with CPRE's mission to promote sustainable rural futures. Immediately after the old village shop closed, a group came together to replace it. Now, 14 years later, here it is, open, flourishing, embedded in and serving our community. There were certainly many challenges and setbacks along the way, but two things kept the management committee going. Confidence that a new community shop and cafe would improve life for everyone. Really something worth working for. And the other thing was the engagement and support of so many people living in and around Bledington. As you yourself said, creating the shop and cafe is above all a community achievement in so many different ways, too many to mention now, but all calling forth and drawing on a truly amazing and impressive range of talents and expertise in this community. It's right that you are presenting an award to Louise Jackson, our development coordinator, who played an essential role in pulling together the many elements of our project. And I am touched and pleased, as is Robin, my co-chair at the time, by the award for the management committee, and we congratulate all of its members, past and present, and thank them for their persistent commitment to the project. As both CPRE and we recognise, working towards a sustainable rural future does not mean slavish imitation of the past. That understanding is perfectly reflected in our building, which sensitively reinterprets a traditional agricultural building in a contemporary idiom and using modern techniques and materials. We are delighted that your award recognises Chris Kubale, our architect, and Mike Logue, our contractor, both Bledington residents. In concluding, I would like to recall what we set out to do here, to make Bledington and nearby villages better places to live and work. And if villages are not to become museum pieces, they really do have to reinvent themselves. Here, this is already happening. Our story, this building, stand as powerful proof that when we share our skills and resources to achieve a common goal, we can do wonderful things together.
Well, our Bledington Community Shop and Cafe is fantastic. It's right in the heart of the village. I can walk here, and indeed do, every day to get fresh bread, handmade bread, lovely local free-range sausage and chicken and meat, which is cheaper than the local supermarkets, and the most amazing selection of fresh fruit and vegetables, which I just wouldn't go anywhere else for now. They're incredibly reasonable. And the cauliflower I've just bought, well, it's still wet on the base because it was cut this morning. It tastes delicious.
CPRE was pleased to receive a nomination for one of our awards for this splendid store. It ticked a number of boxes for us. Good architectural design with an emphasis on sustainability, its focus on stocking local produce wherever possible, and clear benefits for the local community. It's also our first nomination for a major retailer and supermarket. As a user, you're immediately aware of the exceptionally well-designed and spacious internal layout of the store that is in stark contrast to most supermarket interiors. By stocking a wide range of locally sourced produce from suppliers in Gloucestershire and neighbouring counties, you're benefiting local businesses while at the same time reducing food mileage. Externally, our panel of judges who came to look at all of this were very taken with the timber shopping trolley shelters, and I've been very impressed with the facilities for charging electric cars. All in all, this store is a remarkably good contribution to the life of Portland-on-the-Water. The citation, agreed by our judges, reads, "For the creation of an exceptionally well-designed supermarket that combines a distinct calm and spaciousness and environmental management best practice and careful sourcing of local produce, all adding up to an unusually good shopping experience." I am pleased to present Mid-Counties Cooperative with a plaque and a framed certificate. There are also two unframed certificates for Gould Singleton Architects and for the Mid-Counties local team in recognition of their contributions to this successful store.
As store manager of Portland-on-the-Water, it's a fantastic store. It's in the heart of the community. We are a community retailer, which is obviously one of the best things for us, especially being in the middle of Portland. We do a lot for the community, a lot for the customers, Basically, we class ourselves as a local store, so we do a lot with local products, which is great for the local farmers and local retailers. I think the design of the store in the upkeeping of the area is absolutely fantastic, and I think the customers, they love the store, and I think in general, I think the store is a credit to mid-counties. On behalf of myself, my team and the mid-counties, it's an absolute honour to be had this award and be presented with it for the store and for all the customers to see what hard work actually goes on in the store and outside the store for the community. Thank you very much.
CPRE was pleased to receive a nomination for one of our awards from Colburn Homes for the Lewiston Mill redevelopment. 150 mills once operated in the valleys radiating from Stroud. Those remaining are a characteristic feature of the area, but securing their ongoing conservation and suitable uses is an increasing challenge. At Lewiston Mill, you have repurposed and restored derelict mill buildings, creating 20 residential units and 5 commercial units as office space, with 6 of the residential units new build homes overlooking the mill pond, all on a very restricted site. Our judges were impressed with the high standards achieved in the redevelopment, both externally and internally, with a strong emphasis on energy efficiency and a way the project has respected the heritage of the former mill complex. The whole project represents an excellent reuse of an existing site and structures and has resulted in an attractive development which Colburn should be proud of. It demonstrates what can be done with flair and imagination. The citation agreed by our judges reads, "For the redevelopment of redundant mill buildings which have been rescued, repaired and partially reconstructed, with the addition of appropriately designed new buildings whilst retaining the industrial character of the site." I am pleased to present Colburn Homes with a plaque and a frame certificate. There are also 2 unframed certificates for Andrew Jones, architect, and Mark Godson, planning consultant, in recognition of their major contributions to this endeavour.
The project was a derelict site that we were very keen to maintain and retain the older elements, but remove some of the less attractive parts of the development and bring in a mixed-use scheme that would give both residential and commercial for the long-term future of the project. So it's been exciting to do, but challenging at times, but very rewarding with the end result. Well, a key part of the development was the existing mill pond, which we've had to work very hard to retain and improve for the long term, but it has involved a lot of ecology work, working very closely with the local ecologists and the Stroud District Council ecologists so that we can retain. We've opened up the culvert, we've retained a lot of the bat roosting that is going on in the valley here. We've got otter boxes, lots of bat boxes, bird, swift boxes. So we've done lots of things to encourage the ecology to be maintained and improved around the site, alongside the older buildings and even the new build as well. We'd like to thank the CPRE for recognising the efforts and the result of what has been a very challenging project for us, but it's nice to bring something back to the Stroud Valleys in with a mixed-use development of both residential and commercial, and be able to reuse some of the old buildings that have been standing derelict and unused for such a long time.
We were absolutely delighted to receive a nomination from mindSCAPE, which was something very different for CPRE and our awards. It was great to see a project about improving the physical and mental well-being of people living with dementia and their carers, which recognised the great benefits from being outdoors, surrounded by nature, and what better place to run it in this magnificent Forest of Dean and Wye Valley. We recognise this as a truly innovative project, reconnecting people with nature through art, inspired by the natural environment. And we know that it's been very well received locally and has been commended more widely. It's a real tragedy that the project has had to cease operating during the COVID-19 pandemic. But when this is all over, I'm sure it will bounce back even stronger. The citation agreed by our judges reads, "For an inspirational project which has enriched the lives of people with dementia and their carers by engagement with the natural environment through art." Hannah, I'm pleased to present you and Artspace Cinderford with a plaque and a frame certificate. There's a second frame certificate for the Wye Valley AONB in recognition for their early work on the project. And there are two unframed certificates for Lena Maller, Community Engagement Officer with Forest of Dean District Council, and for Forestry England in recognition of their work too.
Thank you so much, we're really delighted, thank you. My name's Hannah Elton-Wall and I'm the General Manager at Artspace in Cinderford, and we deliver the mindSCAPE project on behalf of the Wye Valley Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. mindSCAPE is a fantastic project that was launched in 2014 with big lottery funding, and from 2018 onwards the project's been funded by the Arts Council England. It's a brilliant project. It's all about connecting people with dementia and their carers to nature through art. So we run a lot of fantastic sessions outdoors that have an emphasis on nature, and we run the project in 3 different venues in the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean, and since 2014 we've had roughly 2,000 attendances to all of our workshops, and the project is led and facilitated by a team of fantastic support workers and volunteers who work really hard to make the project happen, and the participants that come along to the project are wonderful because they try absolutely everything that we offer them. We've done all sorts of great activities. We're so pleased to have won this award. We're absolutely delighted. mindSCAPE has worked really hard to establish itself locally as a project, a quality project for people with dementia and their carers, and we really feel that having this award is really helped to recognise that and all of the hard work that the team of volunteers and support workers have put in to make the project happen.
CPRE was pleased to receive a nomination for one of our awards from Gloucester City Council for their project to transform a section of the Sudbrook in the Abbeydale area of the city. The housing at Abbeydale was built in the 1960s and 1970s. In common with practice at the time, the brook was straightened and placed in a concrete channel with the aim of getting excess water away as quickly as possible after high rainfall. We understand that it had long been an ambition to restore this section of the brook to a more natural condition, recognising the watercourse as an important element of green infrastructure. The project was developed in consultation with the local community, with input from the Environment Agency and some EU funding. It has seen the removal of a stretch of concrete channel and the reintroduction of meanders, berms and other traditional riparian features along the brook, and the creation of a floristically rich meadow grassland along the riparian strip. The area has been transformed. Our judges considered it an exemplar project and a model which could be achieved elsewhere. The citation, agreed by our judges, reads, "For the successful transformation of a stretch of valley to a naturalistic form, increasing habitat and biodiversity, improving landscape and facilitating access for local people to a pleasant waterside environment." I'm pleased to present Gloucester City Council with a plaque and a framed certificate. There are also 5 unframed certificates for Nick Chadwick, Tom Hitchin, and John Luckett of the City Council, and Karen Andrews and Jeremy Riley of the Environment Agency in recognition of their major contributions to this endeavour.
This project was part of a wider green infrastructure strategy which tries to connect people to wildlife and actually will help wildlife move around Gloucester better. So we took a 1960s, 1970s concrete channel which carried water down past the housing estate and reintroduced meanders and other traditional riparian features. Alongside the banks we've created wildflower meadows, planted trees and put up bird and bat boxes. So hopefully at the end of this will be a really lovely biodiverse area of Gloucester which people will easily be able to interact with it. Really pleased to receive this award on behalf of the City Council. A lot of work by a lot of people. The project itself was part and parcel of our green infrastructure strategy, which tries to connect people to wildlife and wildlife to wildlife. It's a big project, thanks to the funders, the IDF and the Environment Agency, people at work, in particular Nick and Tom and John, who have worked so hard to deliver it, and the Environment Agency, Karen and Jeremy.
CPRE was pleased to receive a joint nomination for one of our awards from the University of Gloucestershire and Gloucester City Council. Called Nature-Based Solutions, this project focuses on the Wootton Brook corridor on the northern edge of Gloucester. The southern part of the project was devised and implemented by the University of Gloucestershire and attracted EU funding. It links at its northern end to the Plot Court Nature Reserve created by Gloucester City Council. Through the university project, a public access route to Plot Court has been improved by gap planting of a hedgerow and removal of invasive species. A wide strip of wildflower meadow has been created along more than half a mile of the Wootton Brook on the edge of playing fields, producing a stunning display this summer. And within the Oxtalls campus, woodland areas and hedgerows have been planted, a further wildlife meadow created, and the banks of the brook widened and the watercourse made shallower, creating new habitat. The city's Plot Court Nature Reserve has been created on a low-lying part of the playing fields, which regularly flooded. A series of interconnected ponds and scrapes have increased the area's capacity to store water and greatly enhanced biodiversity. Together, these two projects have enhanced biodiversity over more than a mile of interconnected habitat, and it's great to see joined up thinking on this scale. I'm pleased to present the University of Gloucestershire with a plaque and a frame certificate, and a second frame certificate to Gloucester City Council. There are also 4 unframed certificates for Nigel Witchell, Director of Estates at the University, Kevin Farmer, Head of Maintenance at the University, G. First Lepp for helping to secure EU funding, which also applied incidentally to the Sudbrook project, and lastly Merrick Brentnell, Gloucester City Council, in recognition of all your major contributions to this endeavour.
The aim of the project was to increase the biodiversity and improve the natural habitat, and to provide that link, that connectivity between the university and the local community. Green infrastructure projects such as this are vital. Although the contract involves several different areas with slightly varied specifications, the common aim was to increase the biodiversity of the landscape, to establish improved wildlife habitats, and to create and strengthen ecological links and corridors through the site. I'm hoping that the project will provide us open space where staff and students can enjoy, to relax, which will be good for their health and well-being.
Part of the project which I'm involved with has been Plot Court. Plot Court is one of our largest open spaces, and a few years ago it was getting increasingly wet, probably due to climate change, and some of the pitches on there were just unusable. So we made the decision to not work against nature but work with it, and we created a wonderful wetland which has been very positively received. The university, in partnership with the City Council, sowed a wildflower poppy mix along the riparian strip of Wootton Brook. This was absolutely glorious over the summer and was probably one of the more positive aspects that I've been involved with at Gloucester City Council. People rarely thank the City Council for much, but we were inundated with Facebook and Twitter support. People really related to it. It was an absolute delight, and certainly in the middle of lockdown, people really did appreciate something to lift their spirits in what was frankly quite a dark part of their lives. So we're really grateful to the university, to the RDF, to actually make this project happen.
Very grateful to receive this award. It's an appreciation of all the hard work we've done at the university and estates, and finally I would like to say thank you very much.
We're thrilled with the awards we've been able to make this year at CPRE Gloucestershire, and we'd love to have equally good awards to make next year. We'd love to hear from you if you think that you've been doing something really creative and innovative which enhances our countryside. Have a look on our website, see what we do, and get in touch.